A sneaky way that we avoid experiencing what we fear to experience is by saying, I'm done with that stage. I'm done with that practice. I'm done with that thing. I've now moved on to bigger and better. This spiritual bypassing shows up like this. It shows up by saying that I'm done with that. It creates this illusion that you've moved on. When, if we really look at it, there's an avoidance of something and a clinging for something else. This is typically an avoidance of some sort of emotion, the emotional work. I'm done the shadow work. I've been doing that for the last 5 years, 10 years of my life. I'm done with the emotions. I'm a pretty emotional person. I've been very emotional my whole life. I've experienced a lot of emotions, so I'm done with those emotions. Can we get to those higher teachings now? And you see that these higher teachings tend to be very frustrating. I can't get it. And we experience a great deal of frustration. We experience a great deal of suffering because this suffering really is this avoidance and grasping. That's what's happening. To seek these higher teachings is really to resist what is. And what is that thing that you are trying to run from. So it's very sneaky. Requires radical honesty. And these words, I'm done with that, whatever that is the classical phrase of avoiding something. Because one who is done with something wouldn't mind looking, wouldn't mind going there. So whenever it's suggested or presented, hey, have a look. No, I'm done with that. You can see it's actually fear. It's the fear that's being disguised by these thoughts. I'm done with that. I'm done with that is really a protective mechanism. It's really this fear. I'm done with that. Translation, I don't want to go there. And it's sort of the elephant in the room. But the very thing that you are avoiding is that which needs to be experienced fully. So you see, it's this bypassing that we're trying to avoid something. Let me just get around this. Let me sidestep this thing and let me just move on to the next thing. I'm done with that. I've had enough of that. Whereas you'll see that in a way, we could say, you're never really done. The master is the beginner, and the beginner will always look at something with fresh eyes, this openness, this humility. There's no assumptions, there's no conclusions. To say that you're done with something, you're creating an end. If you were truly done with it, you would be okay with having a look, just for the fun of it. Just for the fun of it, let me have a look. But you see that if we're really insisting that we are done with something and we are not open to having a look, what does this say? It says that you're afraid. And all this seeking for the higher teachings is really a running from ourselves. So have a look. It's very common, these words. I'm done with that. And the way people say it, you can just feel, you can sense the resistance in it. There's a lot of this pushing it away. I'm done with this. So like I said, there's radical honesty that is needed here. Are we being honest with ourselves? And also, there's curiosity and courage that is needed. These three keys, the honesty, the curiosity, and the courage, are requirements. I'm done with this is a sort of self-deception. It's this dishonesty. The running from ourself. Is not courage. I won't say the other word. It's very triggering. And this I'm done is an ending. Curiosity is this openness. this unending curiosity is needed. I'm done. That's the ending. That's like closing a book. It's a closure. Curiosity is what opens you up. The most common place for this to arise is really with all the emotions that arise. Now, there is a lot of emotions that will arise. So it can feel like, oh, like there's so much. Like, aren't I done with this? They keep coming. And it's like this, that as you're experiencing the subconscious, you just don't know how much is there. And like this, it's always deeper levels. It's like an onion, deeper and deeper. And a lot of the emotions continue to be partially experienced, sort of like a loop, because they are only partially experienced. So it's kind of like saying that you're done, but there's really unfinished business. If you're done with the emotion, you'll know it. You'll know it. Because it will stop arising. You'll feel the climax of that emotion, the peak of that emotion. You'll know it by the absence of something. But what happens in this process is that the unconscious is experienced more and more. And this is when we start experiencing more and more fear. There's more and more resistance. Fear is resistance. There's more and more resistance to this uncomfortable energy. That we basically label this as, I don't like this, I don't want this. And this then translates to, I'm done with it. I'm done with this. And usually when you say that you're done, that's a clear sign that you're not done. We can simplify it like that. That when you think you're done, you're not done. Which is, like I said, is that's when there's the honesty, the curiosity, and the courage that's needed. And you'll see that the very thing that you are seeking is that which you are running from. Hopefully this helps. See you in the next one.